DMV and the rest of the world. Good morning, fam. How are you doing? I'm getting feedback. Hello? Okay, that's better. Hey, today is your girl Reese. Well, today, every day is your girl Reese, right? AKA the best that ever did it, AKA AM Morning, AKA Althea McFarlane, AKA Tedana. You know, so today's show topic is about these kids. But guess what, y'all? I'm not alone. I have my beautiful, lovely co-host, Miss Bernice Smith, with me today. Lady B is in the house, you guys. You could only see her voice or see her avatar because she's being incognito, but that's okay. She's here. She is here, and of course, my boy Molly Malls in the back doing what he do.
The
We are
man
back in
playing.
track, y'all. Yes, Lady B. Good morning, boo.
Good morning, sis. How are you?
I feel so much better. I mean, the last couple of weeks was rough, but we made it through. I'm feeling good. Molly feeling good. You feeling good. I feel good all over, and I'm just thankful that I'm here. And to all of my brothers and sisters that's down, feeling down, I pray that you get well soon. I pray for speedy recovery without any complication,
Yeah.
because whether we want to face it or not, it's that time of year. Not just for COVID. We got the RSV. And look, you might as well call that the RSVP, because you got the RSVP your spot at the hospital if your butt gets sick. It's a standing room only in these hospitals. It's being overran and overpacked. But if you want to come to me for $55, I can triage you. I can I take your blood pressure, I take your sugar, I take your temperature, and I even take your A1C. So if they can, hey, and your ox, to let you know how much oxygen you getting in them lungs. Look, I got all the medical stuff right here. And if you need some oxygen, I can put you on some oxygen for additional 19.99. You need a couple, nebulize, you got a butyrol treatment. I got you. I'm
Oh,
the hood clinic.
y'all
The
better
good
be
hood
careful.
clinic.
Better be careful. Y'all gonna be set a mess.
Look, my place be standing room only. Come in and get your ginger tea, honey. Your fresh ginger tea with lemon and cumin in it. Fix the people right on up. Come and get it, honey.
I'm trying to tell you.
Good morning, Slicky. Slicky in the house, my brother Slicky.
Hey,
Uh,
Slicky. Good morning.
B said, "Hey, Slicky, come on. I can he hear you? He be saying stuff smart.
I know
Oh,
he do, but I'm timing up on.
I hear that. Mm. I ain't gonna get in that one. I'm gonna have to take my belt off and be whipping some tail. Slicky talking about some giving somebody pregnant lips. Man, I was looking at this article and this stuff is just heartbreaking. These kids are off the chain. These children nowadays are off the chain. When I was growing up, this is what my grandmother, all she had to do was this. Let me see if I can get it. If I can get it right. She would do this one a couple of times. And when we heard that crack, we knew we looking
Yep.
around like, did
Uh,
somebody hit a crack? When she cracked that belt, or when my grandfather would cut the air with the switch. That anytime you get a switch and it could cut air, it would cut your tail up. We know that you had to straighten up. We had a healthy fear of our parents and our elders. You know that?
yeah.
Nowadays, these kids ain't got no fear. I've been seeing this little girl in the store putting her finger in the grandmother face. Do you know, if I wanted to attempt to do that, I would be like this, just knuckles, just straight up knuckles. The kids talk back. They give what you call twofers. You say one thing, they say another thing.
That's because the government too much into people homes, trying to take
Oh,
away parents' rights. You know what I'm saying? Talking about abuse and all this. I lived through it. And my thing is, once you take the parents' control, the kids feel like, oh, you ain't gonna do nothing. I'm gonna call the police. I'm gonna call CPS. All this stuff. So now parents act like they scared, and too many are trying to be their kids' friend instead of being a parent.
See, that's just it. I tell my son, I whoop your tail so they won't have to kill you later. So the government can't be in your house because we keeping them from going into the institutional, from getting into the system. But the kids do need to be protected from some of these nut rolls out here. Now, it's sad to say that kids could only be as good as the damaged parents that's raising them. A lot of stuff that we endured, Bernice, coming up, it was abuse, but our parents didn't know no better, so we didn't we was no worse for the wear. You know what I mean? Because we didn't know no better, they didn't know no better, and we didn't know no better. All this stuff goes on. Everything goes back to slavery. Everything stems from the abuse and the Jim Crow and all of that stuff back then. Willie Lynch syndrome, all of that stuff, breaking people, mental morale, all of that when it comes to punishment goes somewhere tied in back then. But because the people didn't know the difference between disciplining and beating, that's where the children need help. Because some parents will be frustrated and take it out on the baby punching bag. That's not right. So the laws had to come in some places, not all places, but they had to step in and protect the children where they saw fit. Now, like this one guy in Arizona, he got over 20 wives, and half of them are minor. The youngest one is a 9-year-old. 9-year-old, he even trying to marry his daughter. Now, why ain't the Lord stepped in? Because they watching and waiting. Why didn't they been step in? Before these children, minors got abused. It's that polyamorous stuff. He's in the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, something like that, a part of the church, but not the original church, what have you. But you got all of these minors, all these women, you're abusing them. Sick devil. He's a sick devil. He needs to be locked up. They need to put them type of people away.
Yeah. And I mean, they have to clarify what abuse is. You know what I'm saying? Because correction is needed. And if we had more correction, then it wouldn't be so much stuff going on in this world. I mean, they are parents, because I look at these stories and I see parents who have put their kids in microwaves, and one mother killed her two daughters because she said they were in the way of her living her life. Did you know that before you spread your legs, baby?
No, and they're still spreading and making more kids to kill. And it sickens me. It really sickens me to my heart, because there's so many people out there that want children that can't have children, and then you have these nut rolls making babies just to kill them. I mean, it's sick. And then they don't know how to discipline or raise their children, and then they're raising another sick individual. Let's watch this clip that I got. This news story happened over this weekend. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. Y'all believe it. But let's watch the clip about the little 10-year-old
surprised when there's a shooting around Josie's quiet neighborhood.
Steve Frisch has lived near 87th and Hemlock for more than 2 decades. His quiet neighborhood was shaken up last week after police say a 10-year-old boy killed his mother. Frisch described the family as average.
He just asked me how I'm doing and stuff like that.
According to a criminal complaint, the boy originally told police he accidentally shot his mom when he was twirling the gun, but the next day, the family called police with serious concerns. They say the boy told his aunt he was actually aiming the gun at his mother. According to detectives, the boy said he got the gun because he was mad at his mom for waking him up at 6 a.m. and that she would not allow him to order a virtual reality headset from Amazon. Police say the boy told them he got the gun by taking his mom's keys to the gun safe. He says he took up a shooting stance and that he wanted to shoot the wall to scare her, but she walked in front of him. Family told the police the boy had, quote, rage issues all his life, and at 4 years old picked up a puppy by its tail and swung it around until it whined in pain. The criminal complaint states that 6 months ago, the 10-year-old filled a balloon with flammable liquid and set it on fire, which caused a sectional and carpet in their home to catch fire. A sibling told police the 10-year-old was meeting with a therapist who gave him a concerning diagnosis that led his mother to place cameras inside their home. The cameras were unplugged 2 weeks ago. A family member told police, quote, they felt bad for not stepping in earlier because they knew that eventually something bad was going to happen. This morning, we asked Mayor Kevlar Johnson about the charges the 10-year-old is facing.
Anytime there's violence that happens in Milwaukee, whether it's committed by somebody who's 10 years old or much older than that, that gives me pause. I don't want to see anybody hurt or lose their lives in the city. In this particular case, I don't have the details just yet. This is something that is just coming to my attention just this morning.
Wow.
Yeah, definitely. I heard about that story, and the thing is, he's not the first. And if things keep going the way that they are, he will not be the last. There were a set of twin girls who murdered their mother because she took their cell phone. If you look it up, there is so much of it going on, and that's why I said, stop trying to be so involved in these family lives. So what? They get a spanking. That's not abuse. But they have to, and the problem is they have overlooked so many of the families that are doing the abuse. Parents leaving their kids in the house, they 9 and 10 years old, you gone to go to a party, or these kids growing up in drug houses. I mean, come on. There are so many cases that they need to look into instead of worrying about the parents who, look, I'm just trying to correct my child. Because I told my son, he's now 29. I said, you know why I spanked you? I said, because if I don't correct you and let you know that this wrong, them people out there ain't gonna have no mercy on you. The police, if you steal from the wrong person, somebody will hurt you. It's not a game out here.
Surely will. And they busy, you know, like I said, they don't have a healthy fear. And they're too damn entitled. I don't care. I'm guilty of it too. And I can tell you where we went wrong because I did it as a generation. I gave my child, he was the only child, I gave him everything that he needed and most of the shit that he wanted. Even if I couldn't afford it, I went out there and hawked sometimes and to get him what he needed. And that's wrong. Do you know what I thought I was doing? I thought I was being a better parent. I thought I was raising him better than what I was raised. That way he'll be a better person than me. We want our children to be better than us, but we are taking away regular fundamentals. I was working at the age 13 and 14 and I did, but I said, you know what? All my son's going to have to do, because I had to work because I had to get needs. My grandparents was raising me and I said I needed to bring income in the house to help take care of me because I didn't think it was fair. And this is a child's mind, a teenager mind. I didn't think it was fair that my grandparents had to take care of me when I had parents.
Yeah.
And if my parents wasn't right, was too trifling to take care of me, it wasn't my grandparents' responsibility. So I went out there and worked. And in the back of my mind, I was like, if I ever have kids, they're not going to have to work because I'm going to be that parent in their life to take care of them to meet them needs so they won't have to work. Well, little hard work didn't kill nobody. It helps you build character. It helps you learn how to budget, save, and balance financially your money. And it also let them little title MFs, them little title jokers learn how hard it is to get out there. And they would definitely know. A lot of young kids, you ask them, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? They don't know what they want to do with their life. But if they're out there cleaning toilets at McDonald's, they know that ain't it. They know, screw this. I ain't going to be doing this all my life. It gives them some direction to help focus them in, and they still could be out there creative and stuff. But what did I do? Didn't let my son get a job. Just concentrate on school. Just concentrate. Got him everything he needs. Just concentrate. That was the wrong mistake. I should have been giving him learning blocks and help him build. But instead, I was building blocks for him to step on. Here you go, son. This, step on that one. Here you go, son. Step on that one. Here you go, son. Instead of having his butt out there, building his own blocks, making his own mistakes. I was trying to protect him and shield him from what I went through. Because I was like, oh, my child ain't going to have to go through that. Oh, this ain't going to be this. It ain't going to be that kind of household. And I was wrong, just like a lot of you all are wrong.
Yeah.
You see this? You see this? Like I said, when my grandmother did this little trick, we knew what that meant. When my grandfather cut in the air with a switch is a little stick, y'all, a limber stick that can wrap around your leg and sting your legs. We knew what it meant. I did this to my little niece. She laughing and she trying to pop it and hit me with it. I'm like, these kids, it's not the same. When your parents said and clap their hands, that means stop it. You stop what you're doing and you gave them attention. You do this nowadays, and the kids be like, oh yeah, mommy, twerk, 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 twerk. Make that make sense. Total different generation. And my son was like, that was back then, this is now. Okay. But who said back then they wasn't all wrong? They wasn't all wrong, Bernice.
But I think it's learning what correction is, because it's not all about beating somebody's tail. It's not. Because my thing is, and my grandparents beat the crap out of us, but in the same token, that can also do a lot of damage.
Because remember what I said is you got to learn the difference between disciplining and beating. We got beatings because they didn't know no better. And that we were scared. We were scared of getting that mess knocked out of us. We were scared of getting that switch wrapped around your backside. You'd be like, ah! When you do that pose, you get swept out. Ah! You sticking your chest out and can't no noise come out. And all you doing is feeling the sting and pain. And all you can do, cut your breath. That's worse than COVID. Talking about you can't breathe.
But I agree with E. It definitely takes a village. You know what I'm saying? Because my backbone was definitely my mom. I had 9 kids. But in the same token, I can, my kids done grew up, they done made their mistakes. I could say my kids aren't any criminals. And don't get it twisted. They ain't perfect, but they hardworking individuals. You know what I'm saying? And my kids know. Don't disrespect me, because it gets different when I feel disrespected. You know what I'm saying? But it was back then we couldn't even speak. We weren't entitled to opinions. We weren't entitled to feelings or anything of that nature. And it has to change.
Right. That part I agree. But not all of it was bad. And that's where I messed up, because I was like, oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do that. When we take out everything that we learned, we can't do that, because we learned some good lessons and things were done to protect us. But we got to change some things, and we definitely got to change some things now. So the way we was raised to the way the children is now, or the young adults, our adult children, is going to be different how they're going to raise their child.
Yeah, it definitely is, because my thing is this, like in DC, they have this program called Violence Interrupters. And, I think it has the potential to be a great program. But my thing is, you can't pick and choose your battles when you say you out here trying to help people out here. I don't see them around here. I don't see them out here reaching out to these youngins. And then a lot of these youngins just want to be talked to and treated like humans. And then there's some you ain't going to get through to. But my thing is this. If you save one, if you change one life, doesn't that matter? So my thing is, you have to come as a whole. Don't be just picking who you want to talk to. If you scared, say you scared. You can't be a violence interrupter if you ain't willing to get into the middle of the situation and say, look, man, can I help you? Because there are a lot of guys who came home from prison and they doing big things. They reaching out to everybody, not just the select few. So, like he said again, it takes a village.
Yes,
we all have to come together. We can't have them snooty attitudes where they got an attitude problem. Under that attitude problem is a lot of hurt, is a lot of trauma. And how I know? Because I was one. I wasn't out here in the streets, but I had an attitude because I went through so many things. But it takes somebody to love on you and try to understand you to break that shell.
Right. That much is so. And what we're talking about that we need now is the same thing they was talking about back in the 50s, about communities sticking together. But the agenda is that don't fit the agenda, and that's why we are so removed. We have come so far to have gone nowhere. We have come so far as a people to make establishment with medicine, technology, all that's great and wonderful. But what good is all that medicine and technology if your moral soul is in question? If your morality is in question, that depravity is in question. What good is take all the oh, I want to VRU so I can see you play games, but I'm gonna kill my mama for it. I tried to scare her. You was a bad little boy at 4. They should have got him help. He needed mental help then, and we don't recognize. Because I got an uncle. They said in kindergarten he used to just roll on the floor, and then I got a cousin that used to do crazy stuff. They needed help, and they didn't need whippings because whipping didn't do no good. Some people a whipping won't do no good anyway.
No.
They need to get to the root. Mental health is real. And instead of them taking the time out to find out what's wrong with our black and brown kids, they put you in a special classroom. Slicky know their classroom. They put you in a special classroom and a category and said that you were bad and you were difficult because they didn't want to take the time to find out the root, what's wrong with our children. And what do our parents do? They listen to what the society, quote unquote, what the man told them about their own child. Oh, you need to do this to your child. You need to do that because they think that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Woo!
They put these labels on these children, and the thing about it is, once you do that, a lot of kids will act according to what the title you have given them. You know what I'm saying? Instead of digging deeper, saying what's going on, what's the root of the problem?
That's right.
What's the root of the problem? What's really going on? You know, and a lot of kids don't feel free to talk about their feelings. You know what I'm saying? Because I grew up like that. We weren't allowed to talk about that. You do what I say, and that's it. But I give my kids that space. Look, sit down and talk to me. Let me know what's going on. I want that relationship so I can know what's going on with you. And some things you might not want to talk to me about, but find somebody to talk about it with because it's essential. Talking, people don't believe it, but talking can help a lot. That's why there's therapy. That's exactly why there's therapy. We have to get room to be able to talk. And honestly, these parents, like I said, you giving them a little too much. You giving them too much because now they feeling entitled. Like, oh, I'm supposed to have this. You my parent. I ain't asked to be here. You ain't asked to be here, and you ain't gonna ask to go either.
Yes, I had that look. That question was posed to me. You know, why'd you have me? I said, I had you to purposely make my life difficult. I had you to purposely to work 2 or 3 jobs so you can have everything you want and need. I had you purposely to make my life harder so I could get this little entitled, lip popping, talk back and eye rolling, this little crumb snatcher. I did all of that. That's why I had you. I did all of that. Come on now. Like, help me. Woo.
I mean,
catch the feeling, girl. Catch the feeling. Latrice said that she don't like that lip popping. She right. When it took me back to it, when you're popping lip and rolling their eyes. My son do something to this day, and I kid you not, when I hear him do it, I feel like clapping his head together, taking my 2 fists and whop right on the side, both sides of his head when he do this to me. But I ask you to do so. If we got to go somewhere and do so, don't be hugging me. That's disrespect. Look, get it together. My grandfather and them, they didn't like the rolling of the eyes, the popping of the mouth. I don't like this. Oh, am I bothering you? Oh, am I getting on your nerves?
Yeah, because I done told my kids, I said, let me tell you something. You can't get it together. I will leave you where you stand. I will leave you where you stand because, you know, I did my part. You know, I raised you. You saw me. I gave you example. You know, I gave you example. It's hard out here. This world ain't easy and it ain't getting no better. So my thing is,
right,
gratitude goes a long way. Gratitude goes a long way. And a lot of these people are ungrateful. And like you said, They feel like they deserve something. You deserve something.
Entitled.
I tell my granddaughter, I say, baby, I said, my thing is to make sure you good. I'll take you to your doctor's appointments, make sure you eat, your well-being is good. I said, but anything else, that's extra. Jordans, girl, please. You want this and you want that. I said, don't be entitled, baby, because it don't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Ain't nobody just handing you stuff. No, it don't work like that. You get what you deserve.
No, they don't. They want a lot. Not all kids, but a lot of them. The youth that I see, I was taught to get out there and get your own. These kids now, they want yours. They don't want their own. They want yours. What you got, Mom? I'm gonna take what you got instead of getting out there, making their own way. Oh, they want to do their own way when they want to do their own thing. Oh, let me be great. Nugget, go on out there and be great. Be great in your own.
Yeah.
You be great when you got yours. Be great. You know, but they don't want their own. They want yours, and that's not the way I was raised. My grandfather, we used to hate watching the TV shows. He hated. My grandfather said, "Well, when you grow up and you get a job, get your own TV, and that way you can watch what you want to watch." Do you know that was ingrained in my head? You get out there and get your own. Because I made it too comfortable for my child. I gave him too much of a leeway. But like you said, when we was growing up, it wasn't no what's for dinner. We give our children too many choices, too much say so. When I was growing up, you ate what was on what grandma prepared. You ate what was cooked. Nowadays, we're like, baby, what you want for dinner? What you want to eat? What you want? Because we try to give them choice. And they take that choice and try to make it entitlement, like we got to treat them like that, or we have to. That's a norm because we did that. Our generation did that, jack these kids up, and like I said, I'm guilty as charged. But now we got to move forward. And how do we fix that? These kids are so far left. Can we pull them back on the right road?
You let them go.
Butts back.
You let them go. It's a certain point where you can't be a helicopter parent. You have to let them go, let them experience life, let them experience some of them hardships, because it's not easy out here. Because what they don't realize, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna get me a job, I'm gonna live good, baby. Sometimes now it takes 2 and 3 jobs, and that's sometimes 2-parent households.
And ain't that the truth? And it's not getting no easier.
You gotta let them go.
Going up.
Especially at a certain age. I was talking to an African man, and he said in their country they don't push kids out when they're 18. I said, but what my grandfather used to say, he said, look, you're gonna do something in my house, you're gonna go to school or you're gonna get a job.
Right.
He didn't play.
We're not pushing them out, you making them more responsible for their bills. When they're 18, we covering all the bills. But when they get 18, now it's like, here these bills, this is what I was taking care of for you. But my son was still grown, and I was still paying his phone because he didn't have a job, and I know he needed his phone and all of that. I should have been like, that's your phone bill. Figure it out. Go hustle some papers, sell some newspapers, sell some Krispy Kreme donuts on the corner, Nugget. This is your bill. But instead, I'm trying to help. I'm tired of help now. I told him the other day, I said, it's time for mama to be great. And I'm feeling different.
Yeah, it's a difference between helping and enabling. There's a difference, because if my kids come to me, I'll help them, but I'm not going to enable them any longer. You know what I'm saying? You have to let go. They're grown. Because even when I was with my mom, I had to pay bills. You're just not sitting around the house not doing nothing. Where they do that at? But I told them too, I said, it's going to come a point in time where you're going to pray for what you got now, because it's gonna come a point in time we're gonna have to live like them Hispanic people. They got a plan when they come. You're gonna need a house where 10 people can live at, so we can all survive.
Right.
I told them I ain't trying to survive. I'm trying to, like you said, I'm trying to be great. I'm trying to make sure I can have mine, because I want to build my own community. They have to get in their mindset where my daughter, she gone. She like, I'm on a job interview, Mom. I got to do this. You know, it's things she want to do, as well as now she's business minded. She's 19. She's business minded. She's like, Mom, this is what I want to do. I want to build this business. You know what I'm saying? And I told her, I said, oh, it's not going to come off the top. Stop letting people think, oh, all of a sudden I just got rich. What they do, hit the lottery, or was it an inheritance? Because it don't work like that. You build. It's a building process, but you have to be consistent with it and work through all the things. My brother-in-law, Bishop Gregory Covington, he said, nothing beats a failure but a try. So
nothing beats the failure except not trying.
So you get out there and you try and you give it your best and you keep
Bernice,
moving. Huh?
It's nothing beats the failure except for not trying. That's what beat a fail when you don't try. You said nothing beats a failure but a try. But it goes, nothing beats the failure except for not trying. Because you got to try. That's what beats a failure. If you don't try, that beats a failure.
Yeah, I mean, for me, failure, my thing is, I can't fail if I'm trying. That's the way I look at it.
Right, but you got to try.
I'm moving.
So that's why it's you. But you got to try, and that's what we got to let our children know. You got to reach, go out there and grab something. Reach for everything, because you'll grab something. And Ernest is right. Ernest said, "You spoiled them. That's your fault." We know this. That's what I'm saying, Ernest. That this generation is spoiled, and then the spoiled generation is raising the next generation. That's where you got these little minions, these little demons out here, these little back talking, and because they laughing, talking back to their mama, laughing, cussing, and when you laughing, you thinking it's cute. Really? Disrespect is cute. Cussing is cute. That ain't gonna get Shaquita no job. Boss man, get the F out my face. Sit your ass down somewhere. Nah. That's not cute. That's ignorance, and your ass gonna be hungry if you perpetuate that type of attitude and behavior in your adulthood life. You gonna be jailed. You gonna be hungry. You gonna be homeless. That ain't productive. That ain't. Look at this next video we got set up for you. I tell you, these kids at 2 or 3 years old, you lived. You see this? You lived.
After that wild ride caught on camera, an 11-year-old on a school bus isn't unusual, but it is when the child is behind the wheel and leading the police on a high-speed chase. Ariel Reshef joins us with more on that story. Ariel, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. When police say that 11-year-old stole that school bus from a Head Start center, leading police on a wild and dangerous high-speed chase that spanned nearly 13 miles and lasted nearly half an hour.
A chaotic scene in Baton Rouge caught on camera. Dozens of police cars in pursuit of a stolen school bus. The chase lasting 13 miles.
I don't know what's going on, but it looked like somebody that stole the school bus.
Behind the wheel, an 11-year-old little boy. Police say the young suspect allegedly intentionally tried to hit another driver in his path. The high-speed pandemonium coming to an end when the bus slammed into a massive tree in the front yard of this couple's home.
A minute after that they got the little boy out of the back of the truck.
You can see the young boy surrounded by 4 officers, arrested on 4 charges, including aggravated assault.
And remarkably, no one was hurt in this incident. This child has been charged as a juvenile. Police still trying to figure out how he got the keys to that school bus and why he may have stolen it. Guys.
All right, a lot of questions.
Wow. See, that story was a few years ago. It's old, but it needs to be repeated. Just to give y'all an example. I wonder where that little boy at now. He was 11 then. Where he at? He gonna be messed up for the rest of his life. He need help. But they might label him as bad right here. At 2-3 years old, this hurt as an adult. And discipline. You will survive this. You're not breaking no bones. And but the child know the sting. Correction. Not me taking a brick and busting them upside their head or table leg or breaking a chair over their back or punching them to their body. We need to discipline our children. E said something about it's our fault. What is E saying about going to the mall?
But it's honestly, it's not only that. You got to think about these games and stuff these kids playing. One dude killed his grandmother talking about some music he was listening to. I think it was Chief Keef, whatever his name is. He was listening to some song. We have to learn how to regulate what our kids listen to, because they don't care what our kids listen to. They don't care the message that it's sending. They think it's cool. It was a rapper just talking about how if a lot of rappers change their message in their music, these kids won't think it's cool to carry these guns and to sleep with all these women, and these women won't think it's okay to twerk and like he said, not know who their baby daddies is and that kind of crap. Come on, man. We got to do better. They putting it out here, but it's up to us whether we let them listen to it. And when they go outside that door, can you trust your child? Because I'm going to tell you something. My 16-year-old, my twin, Desire, they don't go out much. They stay under us a lot because she's kind of like, these kids too wild for me. So Friday, she wanted to go to homecoming. And I'm like, oh, God. I don't want her to go. And it's not that I don't trust her. I don't trust the people around her. And on her way home, she was going to my mom's house. On her way home, people started shooting. They found a lady dead over by Alabama Avenue. You know what I'm saying? So it's not that I don't trust my child, because I trust her. She's very mature for her age. You know what I'm saying? But you can't control what other people do around your children. So you have to instill stuff in them that make them say, okay, I'm me. I always tell my kids, I say, oh, you're not a follower, you're a leader.
That's right.
You're a leader. So don't do what other people are doing. Don't follow the flow. That's what I like. That's what I like about my kids, because they're individuals. You know what I'm saying? They want to be them. They don't follow, okay, well, I need to have these $300 shoes or this or that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people out here, a lot of these kids, they on that, and they're going to do what they got to do to get what they want.
Money.
So we have to instill in them the things, baby, you're an individual. You're special. You don't have to be like everybody else. My daughter Desire, she got her own style. And a lot of people, she a straight tomboy. And people be like, oh, you're a dyke. She be like, I ain't no dyke. I'm all female. She said, this is how I'm comfortable. This is how I dress. And I'm comfortable with that because she's comfortable with who she is. That's what I'm saying? So my thing is, again, instilling in these kids, the world is this way, but you don't have to be that way. Be you, stand out. And that's what I had learned about myself. I'm like, I don't fit in nowhere. I wasn't made to fit in. I was meant to stand out, and I'm good with who I am.
Bernice, I look at it like just sometimes when we was coming up, right? We didn't have all of these choices to even pick our identity and our sex. It's like that we give our children so many choices on so many things, and is it messing them up? Is it because a nail? It's like you could go to the left or you can go to the right. Now you can go to the left, you can go to the right, you can go up, you can go bottom, you can go counterclockwise, diagonal. You could go so many directions. Is it confusing them? Is it like an overload? Is it giving them like too much?
Well, honestly, my thing is, again, my job is to instill in them the things that they need to survive. You know what I'm saying? at the end of the day, it's their choice. Like, I grew up in a strict religious home, you know what I'm saying? And they told me this was what you shouldn't do, this was you, because they put me in that box and they didn't allow me to experience what's out there in life and allow me to have the final decision. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So my kids know how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, the Bible says, direct your kids in the way they should go and they won't depart from it. So all the things my grandparents taught me, they are within me. Now it's my choice whether I choose to do the right thing. And I can't say it's not right if you choose to be that way or you choose to live that lifestyle. You know, that's your choice. But I can't be
that's it. That's what I'm asking. Do you think we give them too many choices?
I don't think it's messing up my daughter because my kids, period. Because the thing is, my daughter came to me and she said, Mom, I think she was like 15 or 16. She said, I like girls. I said, I know. She said, what you mean? I said, I know.
I ain't even talking about their sexual preferences. I mean, period. Do you think we give them too many? Yeah.
They have to make their choices. I think at a young age, we have to put in place, this is what it is. But as kids grow, they're going to see more things. They're going to have their own experiences. So in a whole, I think sometimes parents are too lenient. But like I said, from childhood, you raise them up, you teach them. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, my thing is, I told my daughter about my mistakes. My oldest daughter, I told her about my mistakes and how I had wished I had waited to have my kids and been in a loving relationship, you know, with a husband. So my daughter she'll be 20 next month. She's still a virgin. So I think it's all in what you teach your children. You have to be open. Too many parents are playing that golly role like, I've always been good. No, you haven't. Stop lying. Sometimes you have to share your mistakes.
That's right.
You can learn from them. I share my mistakes with my children. Just like I share with my daughter, and I don't share this with everybody. I share with my daughter. I said, I used to be with a woman, but it wasn't for me. It was something I experienced. I said, nah, I'm made for man. I want me a man. That's what I love. That's who I'm going to be with. It was a part of my life that I shared with them because had I not went through that, would I be able to understand their walk when they're saying, okay, I like girls, you know, or whatever the situation is. But again, I think it's instilling in them while they're young. But in the end, when they walk out their door and they 14 and 15 years old, it's the choice, the final choice, the decision belongs to them. Yeah. All you can do as a parent is teach them.
That's true. That is so true. That's why, like growing up, I was a leader like that too. I mean, I blazed my own trail, and that didn't never stop me from having friends. If anything, it made me have even more friends because I stood up. I was like, how they say, a Phineas in the Bible. I tried to stand up for what was right or what I thought was morally right. I didn't like people getting bullied on. I didn't like people getting abused. I didn't like people getting hurt. And you know why that was? Because I came from a household where I was bullied, abused, and hurt. So I didn't feel like I was protected like I needed to be, especially when I left the shelter from my grandparents. So I went out and I took up for everybody else. And that's why I can make friends with anybody because everybody has a story. Yeah. And nobody's perfect. And like you said, I don't like those holy rollers that claim they're perfect and now because you got.
Well, I think she froze. But responding to you, Slicky Woo, that was a part of my life.
Because I fell okay, child.
You froze. You froze up. You right now, but you froze.
Oh, okay. Oh, what I was saying, I can tell you about how falling off a building because I did that. And I can say, look, you don't want to do that because it's going to hurt like hell. You're going to break this, and break that. But when you pretend that you never did nothing, you become unapproachable to your kids. And the first
Yeah.
thing they want to say, Mom, Dad, they don't understand. They don't know nothing about that. They ain't never have to do this. They ain't never have to do that. Why haven't it? Because you pretending that you did, that you were just like that. I don't like parents like that. Keep it real. Keep it 100 with me. I like real people. Real people raise real children. When you go, life experience make you who you are. By being treated a certain way, made me feel a certain way, and it made me act a certain way. Your life experience help treat you who you are.
Yeah.
And if we shelter our kids and don't give them the real, when they get out there in the real world, it's going to eat them up. The world going to eat them anyway. I tell my son, the world don't owe you nothing, but it will take everything from you.
Yes, it will.
It take no less than everything from you, and the world don't owe you nothing. And that's the way you really got to see it. You know, and I try to be there for all my cousins, nieces, and nephews. I try to be there for anybody. Not just my family, but anybody family.
Yeah.
That's how I, you know.
And that's why I feel like my experiences, the things I went through, now I can help somebody else. Because I can say, I've been there.
That's right.
So we have to take those experiences and not let them eat us up or determine who we are.
That's right.
That was a road we walked. That's not who we are. And like they say, a lot of people, you still living in my past. I'm not there no more. So you enjoy that because I'm moving forward and I'm reaching out to other people to help them not go through what I went through. Or if they've been there, teach them how to come out of it. So we have to take those things and teach and learn and build our community. Because right now, these kids need us. No,
That's
I'm
right.
not your mother. But if your mother ain't listening to you, knock on my door, baby. I tell these kids all the time. I said it at my son's vigil. I said, if you ever feeling low, y'all know where I'm at. Knock on that door. I said, I don't have much to share, but I'll share what I have. If it's a shoulder, if it's a cup of soup, if it's just for me to listen. We have to be there. We have to put ourselves in position because it's no time to be selfish. Because once they hit your front door, then you want, oh, Lord, somebody help me. No, let's help each other.
That's what Ernest be saying about it takes a village.
Yes.
That's what Ernest said. And Ernest, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right when you said it is our fault that the kids are spoiled. You are absolutely right that it says that it takes a village. Okay, other than you quoting and being right about stuff, are you going to get down in the trenches with us? Are you going to get down with the get down when it comes to giving the love, guidance, and support of these other people? Because a lot of people say, oh, you know, we could Captain Obvious. They could quote the obvious, but okay, we know that's what it is. Now, how do we fix it? We can only fix it through love.
Right.
We can only fix it. So are you ready to love with us? Are you ready to help somebody that's not yours? Are you ready to give to a child an ear, a jacket, or whatever that they need? Are you willing to be there for another individual?
Love costs us nothing. And Slicky Woo, when you say something to me, put some respect on my name. My name ain't Miss Thing. It's Lady B or B. Thank you.
Put some. Wait a minute. Is there a trouble in paradise there?
No, he talking about. He said what he want to say, Miss Thing. You can say what you want to say, but I'm gonna respond accordingly, sir.
What you and Slicky? Dang it. We talking about badass kids, not badass brothers and sisters.
You see what they turned into? Slicky was a badass kid. Not him.
Slicky was born an adult. He was the only baby born an adult. He came out smoking and talking trash, chewing bubble gum and talking trash.
Yeah, but he a softy when them grandkids come around, break his whole wall down.
Of course, he pop there.
Yeah.
But that's it. We got to teach the next generation. We got to equip them. Whatever my son's generation didn't get, I have to try to reach the next generation. And that's the important.
It's not too late for your son. I don't care. It's not too late until the breath is gone out of your body. It's not too late. There's always time and room to change.
It's not too late for ass whooping either. It's never too late.
Yeah,
I don't care how old you get. You get out of pocket.
That's what they talk about, tough love. It's time for some of that. It's time for some of that tough love. We can love them and still let them go, because you have to live. And like you, Reese, when my kids first started moving out, I was like, oh hell no. What I'm gonna do? Because most of my life, all I've known was being a mother, being there for them, being their doctor, being their advocate. You know what I'm saying? Because dad was in prison all their life. So mama had to step up to the plate.
When my son talked about moving out, I was like, let me help you get your bags. But I want him to go out there and stay out there, to be able to go out there and stay out, not the revolving door back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I want you to be able to stand on your own, because like I tell him, I'm not going to be here. There's going to come a day when I'm not going to be here for you to lean on. Then right. What? But you got to stand and be a man for yourself.
Yeah, but understand this. And this is what people don't understand. See, me and my mom had this relationship, and my mom has worked all her life. She don't play that. She worked. My mom is get right turn 70 years old. She's still working.
Your mom looks good too, by the way.
But my mom.
I said she looked good too. Yeah, I was like, that ain't your mama. Shut the
that's
front
my
door.
Diva. But in the same token, I told my kids, I said, you go out there, you try. If something happens and you gotta come home, know that the door is open. But one thing about my kids is they're going to get on their feet and they're going to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure I'm that safety net, because
right.
There's going to come a time they won't always have mama. But guess what? They're going to know, okay, well, mama made it happen. Mama made it through the struggle. You know, that's what I want them to take. But I also understand sometimes things happen in life. Just like when we had no control over COVID. When that hit and everybody lost their jobs and people became homeless, I would be a foul mother to say, okay, you ain't got no job, go out there and make it happen. No, sir. If my mother would have did that to me, I probably would have never made it. We had this relationship where at one point my mom lost her job. She came to live with me. See, that's when you got to have that system, that backbone, say, okay, I got you, you got me. Hey, if I'm down, you up. You pick me up, and if I'm up and you down, I'm gonna pick you up. It has to be that, but they have to get out there to try to make it happen.
Right.
But we always have to be. I always want to be that safe place. Like I said, my best friend, he wasn't able to work. He was on dialysis. He was going through all this stuff. I was his safe place, and I didn't mind being there, because I know when he did. He made sure I was good. So I did that to the last day he died. I made sure he was good. And did we have a perfect relationship? No. But we all need those people we go to, because I think it was Latrice who said, shelter's dangerous. They are. I've lived in them. They're not a good place for kids. They're not. And they send these kids to these shelters, and there are other kids who probably worse than them and that did all this crazy stuff. And these kids watching this and they taking it in and they're in this environment. I believe in negative spirits. And if people dwell in them too long, it could rub off on you.
Okay, what is Slicky talking about? Why you choose me, Bill? You feel guilty?
What I feel guilty about?
Is he saying sticking together?
Guilty?
Yeah. What you do to my brother, Bernice?
Ain't nobody did nothing to Slicky. I ain't talked to Slicky since before the event. Ain't nobody did nothing to Slicky.
He said you feel guilty. With look,
I know Slicky, but he know you come for me, I'm coming back.
All I know that this book right here is a good book. Did you crack it yet, Bernice? Have you started reading this book?
Yeah, I started reading. I need to finish it. My mind was everywhere. Yesterday was my son's 1 year anniversary of him being gone. So I just been, I can actually say I'm healing. It takes time, but the hurt will never leave. It'll never leave because it's a missing part of me. But I'm getting back to Bernice because I know that's what he wanted.
That's right. You got work to do.
Yes, I do. And I promised God that I was going to do it, and I'm going to do it. And like I said, even with the plug, we can get together. We can build a program where we can go out and talk to kids. And not only talk to kids, and that's why I keep talking about my center I'm trying to build. I need to get somebody who's into grant writing because I want to create a safe place We got kids not going to school because they being bullied. It's time for these schools to say, okay, we're going to depict who want to learn and who don't.
We got to get with our boy Kenny that was on the show the other day.
It's
Yeah.
time to pick, because troubled kids make other kids who want better to say, okay, I'm done with this. One of my sons actually dropped out of school, and do you know what he said to me? He said, Mom, do you know why I dropped out? I said, why, baby? He said, I got tired of fighting. I don't want to fight anymore. I didn't want to fight anymore, and they shouldn't have to go to school and deal with that stuff. They shouldn't have to.
Kids, they're kids. You know, they're. We got your good kids, and we got your bad kids, and then we got your kids that's in the middle, in between, that don't know. And it's just like adults, and they need guidance. They need the love and support. So if you could be a guiding factor and love and support, then you could understand why a child at 4-year-old picking up a puppy, swinging it around. You could be there. You could see that stuff and recognize and try to stand in the gap. If that parent can't see and recognize that there's a problem, maybe you as an outsider or somebody just giving love and care and kindness can say, hey, I think there's something developing with your child that might have saved that mother's life. And the family members saying that they feel bad that they didn't step in sooner, that they didn't say nothing. See something, say something. If you're an uncle, if you're an auntie, if you're a cousin, look, I will watch anybody child. But I'm going to tell you right now, when your child is in my presence and they're getting out of line, they have to be lined up for correction. I'm not going to kill your child. I'm not going to hurt your child in a sense of hurting, like that. But I will correct. And a lot of times you ain't even got to use this or the belt. It's how you talk and deliver your rules to them. They can straighten up. And their children know who to play with and who not playing. See, I ain't going to play with you because I'm going to save your life. I'm going to give you some life lessons.
Yeah.
Children know who to play with. Not. That's sad that 10-year-old boy killed his mama because she didn't order him a VR game from Amazon.
I mean, like I said, he's not the only story. And I watch these stories and I get education because I'm like, if you see it, you better get them help ahead of time. That's why it starts from a young age. We can't wait. And I think therapy should start for kids at a young age. Not that they have issues, but
their kids do have issues. Kids need therapy at a young age. They said at 4 years old, that boy took the puppy and swung it around till he hurt the dog at 4 years old.
But not all kids have that. But I feel like if therapy is in place to go, you know what I'm saying? It will give kids tools as they're growing. What you see, how you differentiate things, I feel like it gives them a head start.
That's if you got a willing, open-minded parent that don't try to shun the child. Because a lot of parents won't take their children to seek the help that they need because they don't want to be stigmatized as being one of those parents that has a needy child like that. Oh, ain't nothing wrong with him. Oh, they just need this. Oh, they just need that. No, there could be something really wrong, but because of their pride, my child don't need this. My child don't need that.
Our children need it. And like, that's part of the village that he was talking about. That's part of the village. It's definitely part of it. And again, I say we can sit and we could talk about it because talk is cheap. But it's time to start putting some things in action and help those who truly want it. And you won't know who truly want the help until you get out here and you talk to these people. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to tell you something. Losing my son changed me because I was always in these youngins' face. But I had to deal with my stuff, so I could help somebody else's child. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm in a place where I can get back out here and I can talk to I call them my hood sons. I can talk to my hood sons. They be like, what's up, Mom? But I need to be back in their face, showing them that love, telling them, look, I know you out here, but I still love you. I'm proud of you. And I see that you're trying because I've seen several of them get off these streets, go get jobs, do what they got to do. And a lot of them end up back here. And we need to find out why, what's going on. because they're putting their lives in jeopardy, and a lot of them have children that are going to grow up without their fathers, and that's something we have to stop. We have to break it now, because murderers are getting younger and younger.
Yep, that's the agenda that they want for our people.
Again, love costs nothing. Let's give it. Let's share it.
Share this book. It's a good stocking stuffer. Let's get it. Let's share it. Let's read. Let's have a conversation. This has been another wonderful episode of the Morning Max Show with R&B with your girl Reese Reed and Lady B. R&B, we're going to give it to you like we always do, that rhythm and blues tip. And don't forget, we still got the CMOS and the Shades of Blue special going. Y'all better. Molly just got a fresh batch of CMOS, eliminated everything.
Yes, Lord, that stuff is the truth. When I tell you, if you don't like CMOS, get the lemonade. Get the lemonade.
It's good. Oh my God, it's so delicious. And Molly will tell you on itself. Molly's in the building. That's got my little brother right there.
We like you, Molly. I hope you're feeling better.
There you go.
Dude,
Bam, y'all.
I ain't know if y'all can hear me or not. What it do, man?
Molly.
We couldn't hear you at first.
You know, I got
Bam, look at that, y'all.
You know, this the gel right here. This the regular gel, and then this strawberry banana smoothie.
Oh, I need that one. I need
strawberry
that
banana.
He's been going fast. He's been going fast. You know,
I want that. I want that, Molly.
Look, and that regular gel, you could mix it right in your coffee and all your tea, and you don't taste nothing.
Yeah.
I beat it.
So
that's why I'm
get the
okay.
book. You get
We
the
got
book.
the jewelry coming too, y'all.
Yeah, send me some pictures of that jewelry because I need the one with the crown on it. I need to go and put my bid in before somebody buy it. I like the one with the crown.
And I need the blue to go with the Shades of Blue. So y'all gonna get a book, jewelry, and some CMOS. And we trying to get some butter in there. Look, we could do a butter special too. Throw some shea butter in there. We gotta do a gift basket. Somebody gonna win it.
I love gift baskets. So let's do this.
Somebody is going to win it. All righty, y'all.
We love y'all. I missed y'all.
I miss you too. We back, all three of us.
No, right? It's been a while. We getting there. Love y'all though, as always. I'm gonna see y'all in the back room.
Okay.
All right. Love y'all.
See y'all tomorrow.
Peace, y'all.
Be blessed and be
Tomorrow.